Hi, and welcome to the next crypto market updates video. Um, the market is now worth $1.7 trillion. Volume is about $70 billion. That's good. Bitcoin dominance, I think we'll take a look at it in a little bit, is 40%. Bitcoin is currently trading at $37,000. And in the past week, it went up 2.9%. Ethereum went up is trading around $2,500 and went up 0.3%. Let's look at uh, the the winners of the past 7 days, which is Synthetics Network Token SNX, 36% up. Flow went 25% up. TFuel went up 25%. Sandbox went up 23%. Decentraland went up 21%. So what we can see here is that a couple of NFT projects are going up. So maybe we'll chart them and take a look at what is going on with Sand and Decentraland. Yeah, lots of green. Here we have Engine Coin also went up 11.8%. Another NFT project. Tezos went up 13%. Basic Attention Token 10%. So there's a couple of winners. So that's not too bad at all. But let's look at the losers. And that is Luna, which went down 34%. We have Atom, which went down 23%. We'll see how much time we have. Maybe we can chart them as well. First, let's look at the market in general. So we'll shoot TradingView. This is the total market cap, all the coins together. We had this massive drop from the 21st of January. That was just over a week ago. And since then, we've been trading here. Now, what do we see? What we see is that we created this low over here, which was around $1.5 trillion. We went up and set this higher high, because this was the previous high. And then we also set this low over here at the moment. So this indicates a nice local uptrend. What I'm looking at the moment is that the market needs to hold around this level over here, around the $1.60 trillion area. If we lose that, then we are likely going to visit some lower prices. One thing that worries me is that we set this high over here, which I showed before, and over here we had a rejection, which was earlier yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yesterday we rejected this high over here. So as long as we hold around this area, then or maybe even here, it doesn't matter. As long as we hold this, hopefully we can see another push up and make another test. We eventually want to see the markets gain this and then continue upwards towards this volume node over here, which is between the let's say around the $1.80 trillion area. So that is the total market cap for this week. That is the scenarios that we're looking at. Let's switch to Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, we still have these previous levels from last week, which is good. I might have to adjust them a little bit though, to be honest, but it's fine. Let me just quickly check with a Fibonacci. Yeah, they're okay. Okay, what matters is oh, actually, I see what I did. Let's just remove them because they are irrelevant at the moment. Right. So Bitcoin did a similar thing as the whole market, of course, because Bitcoin is kind of the leader of the cryptocurrencies. We had this massive drop like 1.5 weeks a week ago. We created this volume node, and what is interesting is that over here we tested that volume node, and over here we also did another test. So that's good. That's a great yeah, it's great to test that area. We can also see some upwards pressure, right? And that is very important. Now, this doesn't mean that prices will go up. Stats wise, it is more likely that Bitcoin will go up. I think it's like 70% or something like that. But don't trade based on that. Uh, don't go invest based on that information. These patterns, these are just showing compression, and there will be a breakout, right? There is going to be a breakout, but we don't know whether it's going to be up or down. So those are always the scenarios you need to keep in mind. Now let's take a look at the scenarios. But before we do, I also want to say that we had created this high over here, which we also rejected over here. So that is something we need to keep in mind. It's still upwards pressure because the lows are at the moment getting higher. Now let's look at the scenarios. So the bad scenario is, of course, going down, which means that we are probably, so if we go down, we are probably going to test around this area, which is between 35.5 to 36k, 36.2k. It might even hold here. Yeah, somewhere around this area. We can check with the Fibonacci tool to see if we can find any confirmation. Yeah, there's a confirmation as well. So if we go if we go lower from here, then we are likely to visit this area. And then the question is there enough support to make another move upwards? Or are we going to break down to support? If that happens, then we will test these lows. And yeah, if we lose these areas, then it's not looking that great. Um, I would say we should not lose this area. That is not what I want to see, because it is a sign of weakness if we actually drop down all the way over here. I mean, it's possible, right? We're basically just ranging between this area, but yeah, it's a bit of a sign of weakness. If we do lose the 33k area, then we will go towards 30k ish. So keep that in mind. That is the bad scenario. The good scenario is, of course, going upwards. And what we want to see is, even if we go down a little bit, it's fine. But what we want to see when we move up is that we get past this point, right? This point of resistance. We want to gain that. So we want to. Oh my god. Let me redo this. That is horrible. Basically, this upwards pressure, we want to get above here, right? This volume node is already tested, as I mentioned before. So it is also possible that we straight up make a move upwards. That is possible, but if not, then we might test the upside of it, or at least do a back test and then keep going up. And when we go up, then we are definitely going to test this bottom area, which is the range I've been talking about in the previous weeks. This is the old range. This is where we want to get back into. But we first have to test the bottom of this range. Then it will probably go down a little bit. Maybe it will even find support on this volume node and then keep going back up, and then enter this previous trading area. And that is the most important thing. We need to get back into this area. And once we are in this area, then we can test the upside of it, which is around 44k. Maybe even a bit lower, around 43k. But this is the area that we want to get back into. Most important thing to keep in mind is that if we do make a push upwards, is this point over here, which is around $43,000. I think I also said that last week. This is the drop-off point. This is the point we want to gain. If we gain this area and we make our move upwards, then we will go back to 45 or 46k, and then we will also want to get back into this range right here. That is the scenario for Bitcoin. All right, let me just clean up the chart again. All right. Let's take a look at the losers first. So Terra and Cosmos, and then maybe we'll take some NFT projects as well. So let's go to Luna. We'll take the KuCoin chart. That's fine. Right. Now I've not charted this one before, so I just need to see what's going on. So I'm gonna start on a higher time frame. Luna had a really nice run from below $10 all the way up to $100. So yeah, that is crazy. That is over 1,000%. That is crazy. Since then, it had a drop of like 55%. Usually, when I see this kind of price action, when we had this move, these are all areas where I'm taking profits, all the way up. Right? You don't have to sell everything at once, but you can sell in steps. So maybe some 5% here, 5% there, 5% here, maybe 10% here, 15% there, 20% there, because it always goes back down. Well, it said that I didn't chart this before, but if there's a drop like this, I would only get interested around this area, around this block. So between, let's say 34 to $42. Around this range is where I would get interested, but I would still be very careful. However, we do see that this body over here was already tested this week. So yesterday or today, that's when it was tested. So it might be possible that this could form the next bottom, but we need to look locally before we can see anything there. Yeah, this was an amazing test. You can see that because with price action, it never stops anywhere for a reason. We have this bottom of the wick here, and you might ask yourself, why did it stop there, right? So you just draw in a line, and then you analyze the charts, and then you can see that we had a rejection here earlier, and look at all the interaction over here. This back test, let me turn off the magnet. A lot of interaction over here. So there is a reason why the market stopped there and found support over there. Then we will look at it locally in the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart, you can see that you're still in a downtrend, right? You're definitely still going down. So you're looking at a reversal. This point over here is interesting, which was already tested. Then it was lost. Then this point becomes interesting. So it's likely to test this area again. And then from there, we could continue the downtrend, or if you want to see a reversal, you want to see well, maybe a test of this area. So you want to see something like this, and then go down, and then hold this, and then go up again. And then if that happens, then you could look for an entry. So I'm not interested at all. If as a trader, I would say that if the market shows a reversal like this, right, and it eventually comes back above the $55 area, and it pushes upwards, it will likely test this volume node and this stop right here. If it tests this, the $60 area, then I might place a buy order at over here around the $55, and then enter on the pullback, cover my risk, and then hopefully we can make a nice trade of the next test to almost $70. So that is the situation for Luna. If we do lose this purple line, then you will go and see lower prices, definitely below $40. So that's also a scenario to keep in mind. What was the other one? The other one is Atom, Cosmos. I think I have a chart for that. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is Atom. I need to go to the weekly chart and actually see what's going on. Ooh. Yeah, okay, I see two important things here. First of all, we set this new all-time high back in September last year of around $45. And we can see that in the past weeks, we actually rejected it. And that's why we see this drop over here. Another thing that I see is that we have this volume node over here, which was perfectly backtested. So that it was a perfect entry, right? This was such a obvious swing trade where you could just enter around this volume node and then play the rejection, which would have been 100% trade. You would have doubled your money with it just a trade, and it's so easy to cover up. I mean, it's altcoins, right? So you need to be careful with the stop losses. I mean, always place a stop loss, but with these wicks, you need to be really careful because you don't want to be stopped out and then see the market move up. So definitely cover your risk. So we're in this range now, right now, a very, very big range. So we need to look at it locally. Let's go to the daily chart. What happened in the daily chart? We had this area back tested, found support over here. You can see that with the interaction, all the supports, but we lost it. So what you now might see is that we will see some lower prices. Of course, I cannot tell you where it's going to find support. That could be here, that could be here, it could be here, maybe even over here. But once it finds support and it goes back up, it will likely test the $29.50, maybe $29 area. And then the question is, will we keep going down or will it actually gain it? Right? And once it goes up here, then you can try and find an entry on the pullback, and then maybe play this volume node over here, which is a likely scenario. So those are the scenarios for Atom. I think we have time for some other projects. So let's look at those NFT projects which we had. Let me see. We were looking at the NFT projects, Sandbox and Decentraland. So let's check Sand. Okay, I've charted this before, but this is old information. It's from last year. That already played out. Even here, back in December, I was already thinking about this scenario of going up, which exactly happened, and also the scenario of going down, which also happened. So very interesting. But this old information, this purple line over here needs to stay. It's important, right? Very important. So even if we go back up, we might test that area again. So around $4.50. What happened? We tested this support over here. Yes, perfectly tested. Okay. That's good. We also tested this bottom over here. Okay, I cannot really draw, but it is tested. That's also good. And now you want to locally create something, make another push to this area right here, as I said before. You eventually want to gain this, because once you gain this area, then you can really test higher prices. There's a lot to test on the upside, right? This area over here, this area over here, this area over here, and then the all-time high. So let's look at it locally. Now, locally, we can see that we're forming an uptrend. Like, you can see that immediately. And then we need to analyze and see exactly what happens. And I see some really interesting things. So first of all, higher lows, right? Higher highs. So we're creating this nice, beautiful uptrend. this volume node over here is always the volume nodes are always important. Actually, let me just draw it in. It is with this rate. This is important, and so is this. This is the drop-off point, but that's the previous purple line I showed on the daily. This is the part you want to gain, right? So that is why this is important. But we have this volume node over here, and what is interesting is that we exactly held this volume node over here. This we found support there, so that is looking good. You do want to see a push upwards, right? You want to test this high over here, and then if you get past it, you might even test the bottom of this little block of price action over here. So if you continue the uptrend basically, then I think you'll see something in the lines of this, touching this area, and then going back down, and then hopefully finding support here. This is a possible entry. Be careful though, because we had this beautiful uptrend already, and it could happen that prices can fall lower. But you eventually want to keep the momentum going, keep the uptrend going. On the downside, yeah, you could see a backtest of this area right here. If we use the Fibonacci tool, you can see that we have a perfect confirmation of this area right here. So that could be a possible entry. Just be careful though. Just be careful with altcoins. But that's the scenario for Sand. The other one was Decentraland. So let's go and look at that. Let's just use Binance. Let's take a look at the weekly. Okay, so Decentraland had this big parabolic move. If I, like I said, if I see a move like this happening right here, like this, the first point where I kind of start getting interesting is around this area. That doesn't mean that I exactly buy it right here, but I usually draw like a box. This area right here would be of interest. Sometimes I even look lower on the previous high, so around there. And then we can see that, well, in my case, I would not have been hit. Because, yeah, it's been front run. So this happens with trading sometimes. You just miss out on the trade, which is unfortunate. But it did backtest this area. So that is why I was looking around there. It's been holding that for now. What do we see over here? Let's actually check locally. Let's check on the daily. Okay. Right. Okay, this area is important over here. Lots of interaction. We have this nice run up. I think mana will keep going up for a little bit. Maybe around here, where it will find some resistance, and then maybe drop down a little bit, and then find support around here, which is based on this price action over here, right? That's what I'm looking at, and then hopefully you can make a push to test $3.12, maybe backtest again, and then go up, and then go down here, and this is basically the price action that you want to see. So it's okay if you go down a little bit, but you don't really want to go below the $2.50 area. Yeah, you don't want to lose this area, because if you do, then you will go back here, which is a sign of weakness. And if you lose this, then you can say bye-bye, because you will likely visit prices of around $1. And I'm not even joking. That is likely to happen if that happens. But don't panic. You need to focus on where you are right now. Right? We're not looking at $1 right now. We're not looking at the all-time high of over $5 right now. What you're looking at is the area you're in. So you're looking at between $2 and $3. That's what you need to look at. So for now, you're doing a really nice uptrend, really good stuff. Um, yeah, keep going up. Test the areas that I mentioned, and then hopefully find support here, and then continue the uptrend. That is what you want to see. Yeah, that is it for Decentraland. And I think that's it for this video. No, actually, no. Let's also look at the Bitcoin dominance. We were also going to look at that. So what happened to Bitcoin dominance? Let's take a look. Um, Lots of testing going on. Okay, so I'm not someone who likes to predict. Um, but if I had to make a guess, I won't be surprised in the coming if in the coming months we will see Bitcoin doing this. That doesn't mean that doesn't mean that I think that Bitcoin is going to going up like crazy. Um, it could also be that the market goes down, right? But Bitcoin um, uh, doesn't drop as much as the altcoins. Um, and with this error, I don't mean that we go exactly over here to 70%. What I mean by this is that we had a move like this before, right? And then we had to move down. And I think that in time we will see another move up. That is what I meant. Um, the Bitcoin dominance has been testing this support over here of around 40%. That's also where we are right now. Uh, yeah, well, once it gets past this area of around 47%, then we will likely see the move happening. So we could see something like that. But yeah, I think in the coming months, we might see the Bitcoin dominance rising. All right, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have any coin requests, let me know, and I'll try to make another video next week. Maybe I'll do some videos in between as well. In the description of this video, you'll see all my socials, so follow me on there. And yeah, thank you. Bye bye.